Hi, I'm Dr. Tamar Chansky, and today I want to talk about how to handle the big worst case scenario anxiety that keeps coming our way in these very uncertain times. It's natural and to be expected that we would have worst case scenario thoughts, really frightening, dreadful thoughts of death and suffering. But I want to offer this, that in the same way that we have procedures, new procedures to handle all sorts of things that we're taking care of in our lives, like groceries and mail and things like that, that we need a procedure for how to handle those thoughts. We can't just take them lightly. We can't just be dragged around by them whenever they kind of jump into our mind. So today I'm talking about what to do with worst case scenario worry. The first thing is to think about visiting those difficult places on a schedule and with a time limit. So rather than just any time those thoughts come into your mind, you shift your focus from what you're trying to do and go to those places, I'm going to suggest that instead, if these are thoughts you're having frequently, that you plan a couple times a day or once a day, not at bedtime preferably, where you're going to think about these thoughts for X amount of time, maybe, 2 to 5 minutes, something like that. But before you start your scheduled time, leave a path of crumbs back to the present. Think about what you're going to do, plan an activity. Maybe it's talking to a friend, having something to eat, listening to a piece of music. Decide that ahead of time so that will help your inflection point. If you're feeling stuck where you are, that you already have your next step on the path ready, and that will help you transition from one place to the next. When you're in that thinking, ask yourself, is this good for me in the sense of this is helping me to identify things I need to plan for? Or is this not good for me? Is this just kind of stirring up and, making you spiral into worry that leaves you more dysfunctional and helpless than you were before you went to that place? It's always important to remind yourself that no matter how scared you feel in those times when you're entertaining those thoughts, no matter how anxious you feel, that nothing's happening right now and there's nothing you need to do. That might sound like a strange thing to say in the middle of a crisis, but this is the paradox of where we are. We're in this, terribly difficult time in the world that absolutely triggers our fight or flight reaction. But what we actually need to do is stay still and stay in our homes. And so doing that reset back from fight or flight is so important to not exhaust ourselves. We don't need to be in fight or flight, but we're going to get triggered to that place a lot. So just if you can think about keep doing the reset back from that place to remind yourself that nothing's happening right now and there's nothing that you need to do. It's always helpful when you are in that worry time to fact check your fears. So either say or write them down and then, kind of correct them and make a more accurate version by editing in ideas like this is how I'm feeling now versus this is what is happening now. So you might say, everything's so hopeless, edit in the idea, I'm feeling so hopeless right now, or I'm having that hopeless feeling right now. That helps to shift that sense of the authority of those thoughts back to what they really belong, where they really belong, which is in the realm of feelings, which come and go, that feel really true but aren't. Another idea is to share your fears or nightmares with others. You can do that on a text thread with people, in a conversation, over the phone. When you do that, what you will hear is a lot of resonance, that other people are feeling the same way, and that will help you to feel more normal, because we're doing what is how we're wired to what we're wired to do. And so it will be a comforting and normalizing process. And you can help each other fact check your fears together. Finally, when we go to those difficult places, the other side of that is the sheer appreciation that we can have for the lives that we have, the meaning that we have in our lives, the people we have in our lives. And so, like I explained to kids who have a fear of death, I say to them, imagine an amazing dish or cone of ice cream. Do you want to think about it's going to be like when that ice cream is done, or do you want to savor every single bite? So we're in a moment where it's so easy to go to those places of dread and loss and fear. We have the opportunity to come back to the present and savor every bite of life that we have now. Thank you. Many more ideas you can find on my website, and here's to less worry all around.